You were working in tech.
Yes, 14 years. And I thought like, hey, I know how to do it. I can do anything. I guess life had different plans for me.
The day that you got let go.
I never thought it would happen to me. I was on vacation. My wife was like, hey, we're taking a picture. Can you like smile?
While at the same time,
I was just shocked. I decided to...
Clement Leung is the viral content creator who swapped working in tech for traveling the world on a quest to find the world's best bites.
Leung aims to inspire his growing audience through his videos.
now you're traveling the world eating.
I theoretically have multiple streams of income, but they all relate back to the content.
Do you think there's a magic number that if you looked at your bank accounts that I had X million dollars, that you would suddenly be like, okay, I can rest now?
I've always told people if I had $10 million in the bank, I'll just do what I'm doing now. I would say like money is like a very important thing to all of us. It's how we pay the bills, get fed, but I had to really like sit down and think about what's the North Star and the thing that guides me, and not necessarily just money. Choose what you want to do with your time. There's great things that can happen.
What are you not doing that you want to be doing? We find it very interesting that the majority of you who watch and listen to this show aren't yet subscribed to our channels across Spotify, Apple, YouTube. It would mean the world to us if you can do us that small kindness. It allows us to continue to bring on amazing guests week after week and continue to provide you with amazing value and content. It's the only thing we'll ever ask of you. If you can hit that follow or subscribe button, it would mean the world to us. Thank you so much and enjoy the episode. You know, when we first chatted, you made it a point to tell me that the stuff that you're doing now, and we'll get into that in a moment, but the stuff you're doing now was never really the point, was never really the journey or the purpose. You were working in tech.
Yes. Oh, we're already going.
Oh, yeah?
I was in tech, yes. Where do I start? Like I'm an engineer by trade, or software engineer. So I went to school for that. I worked in tech for a very long time for myself, like my perspective, which is 14 years. And
it's a long time.
Yeah. So, and I loved it. I love writing, a software developer. So I love writing software. I love building things. So what I'm doing now, I've had aspirations to do it or dreams, but never would have imagined I'd be doing what I'm doing today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did it all even start? 14 years in tech. That's a career. You're building a career.
Yeah. So
what happens? What's that moment, that catalyst that makes you go, okay, well now I'm doing this other thing now?
It was slow and then fast. I did the video thing, the content creator thing, just as a hobby, just for fun, because I love. So if you look at my YouTube, in addition to following you, I just follow food.
Thank you.
I just follow food. I subscribe to a ton of food creators like Mark Wiens. He's a big hero of mine. He's been doing it for at least 10 years. So I just wanted to do what my heroes were doing, which is make videos on food. So when TikTok, every year I was like, hey, I'm going to do YouTube. I never did it. I said it for like 5, 10, I don't know how long. But when TikTok came around, I just gave that a shot because it was so easy. First of all, I didn't know you could do anything other than dancing videos on TikTok. That's what...
Well, that's what kind of blew it up, especially during the pandemic. Yeah.
My friends were saying, no, you could do other things on it. So it was very simple. I just started recording myself eating at home. And yesterday I bumped into the owners of Pie, and I still thank them because the first video I made was just me eating pie, a meal at Pie, and that was it. And no one really watched those videos, but I mean, there's a few views, but I just did it for the pure joy of doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, Pai is a very popular Toronto restaurant.
Thai food. Yeah. They're very good. Very popular, very good.
There's always a lineup.
Always a lineup.
Always a lineup.
Yeah. They're
It's
fantastic.
A great spot. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I just started eating, pandemic, lockdown at home, started eating a lot of food I enjoy, like instant noodles. And I don't know, people start slowly sending me recipes that I should try. They're like, hey, can you try this and see if it's good? And
they wanted you to try the thing instead of them trying. Okay.
Yeah, they're like, hey, I saw this video of, I don't know, you put these things in ramen and try it out. And those actually went viral.
Okay.
And that's how that journey started. And then fortunately or unfortunately, I was let go from my tech job during like the interest rate hikes and the mass layoffs. So that was when I gave it a shot. I decided to turn my hobby into something bigger than just a hobby.
How long after the layoff before you thought to yourself, okay, I'm going to really put all of my effort into this?
It's a good question. It was a journey because I've been working for so long in tech, and I think people were saying, hey, you should rest. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. So I took some time to rest, but I didn't really know what rest was. And when you're working for like so long in like a really stressful, like high pace environment, which overall I enjoyed. I'm not saying like enjoy tremendous stress.
Some people enjoy that type of environment. I work really well under pressure and in high stress situations. I find I work better. So I totally get it.
I think I sort of agree. Like it does like motivate me in some ways to perform, but I did have to learn how to manage stress when I worked in tech. And that was its own journey. And I thought like, hey, I know how to do it. I can do anything now. I wanted to continue, but I guess life had different plans for me. Got let go, and I didn't know how to rest afterwards, because when you have a habit of like, I don't know, maybe it's kind of like you're sprinting every day, I don't even know, or running a marathon, and suddenly someone tells you to stop doing that thing. You're like, what? I'm not used to not running a marathon. Like my body's not used to it. And there's just so much that a job gives you. Like I know a lot of people may hate their 9-to-5s. I actually loved my 9-to-5. It gave me a lot of things that unconsciously I didn't realize. Like there was a community there. I got to go into a workplace with people who did similar things to me. We formed friendships. I felt like a part of, I guess, a community, which is a corporation. And then, you know, there's a mission we're all trying to strive towards. And I'm no longer a part of that mission.
It's hard.
Yeah, it was hard. So, sorry, I'm just like saying what's on my mind. But yeah, like I think the first part of it was a lot of intentional rest. And then from there, I was able to like slowly like maybe develop a plan that I thought maybe this is what I should do. That was like maybe the past 2 years, and I'm in my third year of doing this full time, has been a journey of figuring out what to do.
Yeah. Kind of just stumbling forward in a good way.
Yeah, stumbling forward. So yeah, I'm like a person of faith. So my faith is very important to me. I'm a believer in Jesus. So there is a story in the Bible, in the Old Testament, of the Israelites, or the Jewish nation, being freed from slavery, and then they're in the desert. So I felt like my journey has been a lot like that. I'm in a desert, but I'm trying to figure out how to navigate that desert. I don't think I'm in the desert anymore, but I don't know what the promised land is, but I don't know if I'm in the promised land either. I'm on a journey.
You're on a journey.
Yeah.
As we all are.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, if let's say I was a fly on the wall the day you found out you were being let go.
Yeah.
And I got to sort of witness you in your raw self
Sure.
experienced that, what would I have seen?
I was just shocked because I was on vacation, actually.
Oh, jeez.
So
One way to ruin a vacation.
So it was really funny because I took a month off work just to like be curious about what being a content creator would look like if I did it full time. So that was what I was doing. I was like, I'm going to take a month off. No idea what I'm doing. I'm going to go to LA because I figured that's where all the content creators go. Literally had no idea what I was doing. But I was going on vacation. And then there were already rumors spreading around that there could be layoffs.
Right.
And I was like, I'm not worried about that at all. I'm actually a very anxious person. But for some reason, I was not worried. I was like, there's no way. Yeah, it was like, sure, whatever. And I'm like, well, I've been at the company for so long, for 7 years. I think I'm safe. Yeah.
It's a false sense of security.
Yeah, there's so much false sense of security. And even my boss, he was like, hey, these are some indicators that maybe layoffs would happen. And then like, so I don't know if I was just like, I don't think I was confident, but I didn't think I would get let go, even if layoffs would happen. I didn't think layoffs were going to happen, naively.
Right. Sorry,
Sorry, this is a long story.
It's fine. It's a long conversation.
It's a long conversation. I'm so used to short form. So anyway, yeah, so I didn't even bring my laptop because I didn't want to work on my vacation, but I gave my boss my phone number. I think this is my first time giving. I'm like, if anything happens, here's my number.
Yeah.
I gave a couple people my number. So then like, I thought that the layoffs, because there was a certain day where I thought the layoffs would happen, and that day passed, and I was already in LA. I'm like, I knew it. It didn't happen. And then like, I'm jet lagged because we're in EST time here in Toronto, and LA's PST 3 hours difference. So I like wake up at like 5 a.m. and then like my phone has all these texts on it, and all my coworkers are like messaging each other. And one of my coworkers is like, hey, no, my boss, actually, my boss was like, hey, I got let go.
Oh, geez.
And then he's like, and our boss's boss got let go, and my like whatever. And then the head of engineering got let go. He's like, did you get let go? I'm like, dude, like if you got let go and our head of engineering got let go, what's the chances I'm still around? And then another person was like, hey, I see you're deactivated on Slack, our messaging platform. Like, it's over. So I open up my email, and then
anxiety must be going through the roof in that moment.
I was
Aren't you
yeah,
anxious
yeah.
just like thinking
No,
if I was in that position,
yeah.
like how I'd feel about that.
I was like in utter shock.
Yeah.
So yes, anxiety, but a different type. Like I was just in disbelief, like something. I was watching a movie or something, because I never thought it would happen to me, naively. So that whole day was just me figuring out next steps, and I already had like a whole day planned. So my wife and we went to Warner Brothers Studios for a tour, and the whole tour, I was just like, I don't remember what happened on that tour. Like,
yeah, your brain was somewhere else.
I remember sitting like on the friend's couch or whatever, and then like my wife was like, "Hey, we're taking a picture. Can you like smile?"
I don't nothing to smile about right now.
And I'm like, I'm trying to figure out my severance package.
Oh, geez. Oh, man.
But yeah, it was like shocker, and it took a long time to like process it. You know, I was definitely depressed.
Yeah.
And every day when I woke up, it was like, oh wait, I got let go. I had no idea. Like I was in disbelief for like a month, if that makes any sense. It was like someone broke up with me. It was like a bad breakup
that you never saw coming.
That I didn't saw coming. I thought we had a good thing going on.
You know what's funny is there was a project that I was doing about a year ago, and I was just consulting on it.
Yeah.
And the project just ran out of money, basically. And to try to keep it afloat for a few more months and extend the runway with the hopes of keeping it viable for down the road, they had to basically let me go from that like consulting gig. And I remember being so similar to you, like, no, they're not gonna, like, I do so much important work.
Yeah.
And then when they let me know, I was angry, but more than anything else, I was sad because there was a sense of rejection.
Of course.
And even though emotions aside, logical brain were to take over and go, well, naturally, if you have to trim the fat to keep this thing viable, you remove these pieces, and I would be one of those pieces. So it logically makes sense, and it's replace Samir with anyone else in that situation, it would have been the same thing. It's not personal. There was still that sense of rejection, and that was the part that hurt. That was the part that stung the most, and I suspect that that's what was happening with you.
Yeah, I didn't know it at the moment, but through like journey, I do therapy. So I did therapy while I was at the tech job, and I did therapy afterwards. Great insurance package, and they gave us it for another 6 months or whatever. So you
can continue.
I made full use of it.
Yeah, good for you.
So through that, I realized like, hey, well, I'm like so. I definitely was mad and depressed, and then I had to unlock why, and it's exactly that, because it's like, it feels like you're being rejected, and you are in some ways, and it feels like you're getting kicked out of some sort of a tribe or a community. And my understanding is, as humans, we want to belong to a tribe. We want to belong to something.
Absolutely.
So it's like a really weird balance. I think if I ever worked in corporate again, like it's good to want to do something greater than yourself and to believe in that cause. But then at the same time, you gotta look out for yourself. I'm not quite sure. Like I don't know what that
balancing act. Yeah.
Yeah. I was kind of like all in. I was like, this is like, well, they do great things. Like I worked at Shopify, so I believed in the mission.
It's a big company.
Big company. Started out as a smaller company. I was there for 7 years. It changed throughout the years. A lot of people may not have loved to change, but I think if you have a company with a strong mission, you can like get people to buy into that.
Yeah.
And they have a very strong mission, and I loved working there. I loved working on that mission to basically help others pursue their dreams, to turn their side hustles into something bigger.
Yep.
That was the whole thing, like supporting small businesses. So where am I going with this? Like, it's difficult to balance that. Like, some people were happy to get let go because they're just done with the company.
Well, you also said it was a stressful environment.
It was a very stressful environment, personally for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned how to manage the stress.
How? Stress is a big one, and it affects so many people.
Yeah.
And even if, regardless of the type of job and industry that someone works in, they're dealing with stress almost every day. And learning how to manage it so that it doesn't consume you is a life hack. So when you say that you've learned how to do that, or you learned how to do that, what does that look like?
Yeah, I'm learning how to do that, and learned. So at Shopify, at least, especially in the earlier days when I was there, the company is growing so fast that it demands of you that you grow with it to meet that fast-paced growth.
Yeah.
So you're always put into positions. This is like turning into like a Shopify promotion or something. I don't work there anymore.
And they're not sponsoring this episode.
Yeah, maybe they should sponsor you though. You're put into positions where you just need to learn how to grow. So it's extremely stressful.
Yeah.
So I'm like put onto these like huge projects I've never done before, and I was pushed to my limits.
What did you learn about yourself?
What did I learn? Learned that I'm an anxious person, I guess. But yeah, I learned a lot. One is like there's so many things I did to manage the stress. And that's the biggest thing I took away from this journey. One is to learn why I'm stressed, why I'm anxious. And thankfully, yes, through therapy, that was unpacked. The why behind it.
What was the
and why? Man, I should really remember this stuff, because I don't live in a stressful environment anymore. So I have to. But one of them is like, well, there's a lot of things that are common to people. Like, you don't want to like fail, you don't want to disappoint, but it goes like a little deeper than that. Like, especially if you respect your parents, you don't want to disappoint your parents, right? And then in a corporate environment, those dynamics could subconsciously play out. You don't want to disappoint your boss. You don't want to disappoint your team.
Yep.
So that was a big part. I didn't want to get fired. Now I'm like, getting fired is okay.
You learn a lot from those experiences.
So it's like you don't want to get rejected, the rejection piece. So like just learning, being self-aware of the why goes a long way, I think.
So if someone's listening and watching this who is in an environment right now where they're dealing with a lot of stress, perhaps there's layoffs coming, or there's already been some. I mean, we live in pretty shitty economic times right now. And you're hearing about layoffs left, right, and center. And so they're already anxious. They're already on edge. You know, they're looking for some sort of guidance, something, some advice, some wisdom, someone who's been there, done that, who can share with them like, hey, this is, you know, it's going to be okay. What would you say to them?
This is just my personal journey is I had to put my faith into something bigger than just my job. I think it goes a long way, which is my faith. That's why my faith is so important to me. I had to learn, like, ultimately the job gives you a lot. There's a level of security, or I would say perceived security, that you get from it. It pays the bills. You get paid every month. There's community. There's so much stuff. But through the process of getting let go, I've learned that that's a perceived security that is in my mind.
Why?
Because so the job I do now, there's a perceived insecurity. Like, I literally, some months I don't get paid anything. That's not true. I do get paid on YouTube.
Sure.
But, you know, we might be in a similar business. There's paid partnership opportunities, those type of things.
But then there's some months where those just are not happening.
Yeah, they're not happening.
You've done the work and the payment hasn't come through.
So it does seem, I mean, I would say it is insecure. Seems insecure, but I've been doing it for 2 years, and every year I just reflect, and it's been good. I'm not like rich, but I pay the bills. Whereas
you're also doing something you love now.
I love doing what I do. Maybe that's another secret to like not having too much anxiety. It's just a different way of working.
Yeah.
There's a pure autonomy on this other end, and I just do what I love to do. I get up. It's like play. As long as I can manage a different type of stress, which is the uncertainty. Whereas in like a corporate job, I felt very secure. I'm like, I've been there for 7 years. You know, like, it's a pretty good track record of like, I think I'll have my job the next day, but it is a perceived security because it's never guaranteed. Like, and it wasn't for me. So I balance these things in my mind, and the only thing that has been common for me is my faith. Like, I relied on my faith in my 9 to 5, and I rely on my faith now to keep me going. And so I'm learning to like rely less on, I would say like money is like a very important thing to all of us. It's how we like pay the bills, get fed. But I'm trying to rewire my mind to not think of money as the thing that I have security in. But my faith is the thing that gives me security.
Yeah, foundation. As you were talking, I was thinking about this journey that I've been on with entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I also went from what was a stable job, regular pay. On some days I can give it 100%. On others, I can give it 20% because that's all I had in the tank.
Yeah.
And know that I'm still going to be paid.
It's
Whereas
great.
now, it's nice. I'm not going to dispute that. But now there are days where if I give 20%, I'm leaving 80 on the table, where that 80 could be the difference between a paid partnership, a new deal, whatever,
Yeah.
and not getting paid for the next month, let's say.
Yep.
And it has recalibrated my mind to think about money.
Yeah.
How much do I actually need versus how much do I want?
Yeah.
Because I think when you're in a salaried position, you tend to go, oh, the more the better, the more the better, the more the better. And to some degree, that's fine. But what are you trading for that?
Yeah.
I've had a number of people come on this podcast talking about the careers that they've had where they've traded their time, their relationships,
Yeah.
themselves, their health for that extra $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 a year. And they're like, at the end of the day, it's not worth it.
Right.
And being an entrepreneur now, where there's no set income, it's not consistent. I'm constantly evaluating, hey, I worked really hard this week and I've done some deals here. I can afford to take the afternoon off and give myself a break mentally and physically. And that it's okay. I used to think of myself as a slacker if I did that. And so then I would just work harder, but I'd burn myself out.
Yeah.
And so I find I had this misunderstanding of entrepreneurship because it's been glamorized as like, oh, you start your own thing, you'll make a crap ton of money, you can go take your meetings on a private island. It's like, no, there's so much work. You end up working more than you do in a regular salaried job.
Yeah, I completely resonate with that. There's I think when no one tells you what you should be doing, you get to determine what you want to be doing or should be doing.
Yeah.
And so that could either be a lot of work, more than a 9 to 5, or it could be like, in some ways you get to determine your destiny. And I think I resonate with that a lot because when, I transitioned to doing this full time, I felt like I needed to I had a lot of catching up to do, if that makes any sense. Like I'm not starting from ground zero, but I didn't make any money or very little money off of my content when I was working at my tech job because I didn't have a need to. So I'm like, I gotta make this work. And so it's just
Suddenly that's the source of income.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, I'm not making any money. So my wife was like, hey, I think you're working even harder now than you were back then. And so, yeah, I had to really sit down and think about what is the mission. What's the purpose of what I'm doing, or what's the North Star, and try to have that as kind of the thing that guides me, and not necessarily just money.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And I'm still on a journey. I resonate with what you say. There's times when I'm like, man, I'm so busy, but I can't turn this opportunity down because I don't know when the next one will come. So it's still a learning process for me. I think having a mission really what do you call it? Sets a person in a good direction, and being aware of what's important to you and what your values are is also very important.
So let's talk about that mission, because now you're basically traveling the world eating.
Yeah.
And it sounds incredible because as a lover of food,
Sure.
I'm like, that sounds amazing. You just get to go to places and eat all the time.
Yeah.
Why? How? Tell me about what that's like.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's been super fun for sure. And I think for me, when I wanted to have a purpose for my channel, I transitioned from just eating noodles, gradually or slowly to, I wanted the platform to be a blessing for others because it's been a blessing to myself. I wanted my channel to be one. I know that sounds like very like high level and maybe even a little, I don't know, everyone wants that, right? But I felt like this platform has been given to me as a gift. And so I didn't want to waste it. So one of the ways where I try to allow it to be a blessing for others is to shine a light on food I feel like deserves more attention, like local mom and pop shops, like places that maybe people might not know about or people know about, but I feel like, I feel like I want to shine a light on this food, and so that gives me a lot of energy. It's what like drives me to do what I do. And also, like, I work with I volunteer with Compassion Canada. So their goal is to release children of poverty around the world, and they're a Christian organization. So those two things are very important to me too. Like, they are a nonprofit that is driven by their values and their faith, and they have a noble goal that children should not be hungry, and they should not live in poverty. And
agreed.
So I try to do my best to. I'm still learning like how I can have impact, but that's another place that I love spending my energy into, or have to remind myself too, to spend my energy. I'm like, oh, there's all these like paid opportunities, but this is what really gives me energy.
Yeah, fills your cup.
It does. And the travel thing, I'm still learning how to do. I do enjoy it, but
traveling is tiring.
It is very tiring. So like,
when you talk about glamorous things that look glamorous, traveling looks so glamorous, but it's exhausting.
Yeah.
The idea of jumping from plane to plane, airport to airport, layover to layover. I'm in Jordan on Monday.
Wow.
And I'm looking at the flight path and I'm just like, oh man. I land, so I fly out at 5 p.m. Toronto time, and I land in Jordan at 4 p.m. local, and my first event is at 6 p.m.
Oh.
So I land at 4 and my first event is 2 hours later.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope I'll even get to the hotel in time to just like shower.
And adjust to the time zone.
8 hours. And then I'm there for about 7 days, and then I'm back. And my flight path back is 14 hours. Like a direct 14-hour flight. I go from from Amman to Dubai, and then from Dubai to Toronto, direct 14 hours. And I'm just like, oh my, I'm exhausted. I'm going to be exhausted. That whole week, I'll probably just trying to catch up.
I'm curious, what are you doing there?
There's a tourism conference happening, G Adventures. First time I do anything with them. They were fans of the podcast, actually.
Amazing, man.
Yeah, and they reached out and they wanted a podcaster from Toronto or from Canada to go. So they host these annual conferences / retreats, and they specialize in tourism. And so I'm going to be spending a week in Jordan, and I'm really excited because I'm going to get to see Petra, which is something that I've always wanted to see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that's, it's in those instances where you're like, this is the cool stuff that I get to do as a result of taking that leap of faith.
Yes.
And this is the stuff that people will see online that looks amazing, right? Me sort of hanging out in Jordan, just experiencing cool things and, just getting to do really cool shit. But then what they don't see is all the work that goes in behind the scenes, all the hours of work, emails, communications, relationship building, the work that goes into even building this podcast to a point where someone looks at it and goes, hey, we would like for you to come in and hang out with us.
It was years of work to get to that point. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think there's a misnomer too around when people see social media or creators with big platforms. It's like when they see your platform and they go, wow, this guy has it made. He does this paid partner. You get paid to create content. Excuse me.
Right.
You get paid to eat. Excuse me. And you're like, yeah, but what you didn't see was all the years of literally just doing hard work for nothing.
Yes.
And hoping, just hoping, because there's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee
that there's something at the end of all of this.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
It's a huge journey. I'm still on a journey.
We all are.
And yeah, first, congrats, because I know you work really hard, and you also have a mission for your platform. I saw your TED Talk as well.
Thank you. So
I know the stuff that you do really is important to you and resonates with you, with a lot of us who watch your podcast. Yeah, like I think when you're on this side, this is something I just had to get used to, is you don't necessarily get paid every month. And that's a huge mindset shift to come to this other side. And it's very scary, actually. And in some ways, you could feel like a loser, like, oh, I'm not getting paid. Like, and then I feel like I don't know, at least in my mind, there was this thing I had to like unlearn, which was I've been productive because I got paid. If that makes any sense. Like, I got money in the bank, like I got paid this month, hence I'm productive. And I think our societies does value people in that way, right? Like, if you don't get paid for what you do, is that really a career? Is that really this is like,
or is it just a hobby?
You're just doing a hobby.
Yeah.
And I don't think that is necessarily true.
I agree.
But it is and not blaming anyone or anything. It's just what our society believes.
But you know what's funny is, as you're talking about that, I'm like, yeah, you're right. And I agree with you. And I say that. And then there will be days where I'll be like, Samir, you're a useless piece of shit because you did not do anything that turned $1 in. And you're just like, it's that negative self-talk that comes in, that obnoxious roommate that lives upstairs in your head going, you're not doing very well right now. You're not making any money. You're not capable of doing A, B, and C. And I don't know if you have this conversation with yourself. I know I do. Or sometimes I'll think, I'm like, I wonder if my wife is thinking of me any differently now because I'm like, I didn't make any money this week or this month.
Right.
And you got to learn to shut that noise off. Like just quell it.
Yeah, and there's so much to even unpack there because, like we're supposed to be the providers of our household. So, yeah, it's you mentioned like that kind of conversations, like what would my wife think, or what would my parent? I don't know. For me,
parents as well,
everyone. There's so much that has helped me on that journey, and I think I'm still also, like it's never gonna go away completely.
So do you think there's a magic number that you would, like, if you looked at your bank account and said, I had X $1 million, whatever that number is, that you would suddenly be like, okay, I can rest now and not feel guilty for not doing work? Because I thought long and hard about that, and I don't think that there's a number.
I've always told people if I had $10 million in the bank, I'll just do what I'm doing now and not have that worry. But maybe if I get 10 mil, I think if you
did the stuff that you did to get to 10 mil, you'd be like, there's no way I'm stopping now.
Yeah. I'll say this. There's many people I've worked with, not many, like a few people I've worked with at Shopify who've been there before me, and they've left the company and they're still building companies.
Okay.
And then I asked one of them, like, why are you stressing out building this startup where people are leaving your company, like things aren't working well, and I don't know how much money they have, but I'm like, I know he's rich. And then he said to me, which was profound, he said, well, I'm a mountain climber, and so I need to climb a mountain, and this is my next mountain I'm climbing. And so I think a lot of people, you're right. A lot of people who are driven, they need a mountain to climb. For me, I just need a mission to go on to. And so that's part of, I sound like a broken record, but that's what helps me a lot, is I just focus on the mission, and I don't need to focus on making money as much. Like I still think of the business. That's another thing, like creators, don't think of the business side. And the business side is so important to think about.
Yeah.
But the mission is more important for me. And the other thing is, of course, like I'm an anxious person, but to help with that, I always say I don't need to be doing this. Every year I have like a reflection point, and that's when I'm like, I'm like, my goals are very humble. I'm like, I just need to pay the bills. So I'm like, did I make enough to pay the bills?
Yeah.
Yes. Amazing. I'm going to do it another year. So I don't worry about it until that fiscal year mark where I do I talk to my accountant.
But that's important. And I think that's super important because you're not blindly doing this.
No.
There's some level of you have to be driven with a mixture of a little bit of delusion that it's going to all work out because that's the life of an entrepreneur like this. You're the one that believes in you the most. But you're also taking stock of things and going, okay, well, you know what? I need to actually produce X for this to be viable and sustainable.
Yeah.
And only then can I continue. Otherwise, I have to make a hard decision.
Yeah.
And I can resonate with that because I do something very similar. On the anniversary of when I last worked a 9-to-5, that last day, I stop and I reflect and I'm like, can I do this for another year? And then I'll have this conversation with my wife and I'll say, hey, like that time is coming up and I feel like I'm making good progress. And I'm not letting my emotions get the best of me. Like I've made a list of all the things I've accomplished just in this last year. And that list grows when I consider the last 2 years, 3 years. So I feel like I'm making really good progress. Am I crazy or does this look right? And she'd be like, no, look at all the things you've accomplished in such a short amount of time. You should actually take a moment just to, celebrate your wins. But in that moment, I'm going, okay, am I seeing a legitimate path forward where I can continue this way? Or do I need to recalibrate and go, hey, maybe I need to go and get a regular job. Maybe I do need to go and pick up a part-time job, whatever.
Yeah.
Or I need to, one thing it's actually done is it's forced me to learn how to diversify.
Yes.
Where now I'm like, okay, well, I need multiple streams of income, not just one funnel, not just one path. And I think that's also partly why people, even in their 9-to-5s, are starting to do side hustles more regularly because they're also realizing your regular job can just let you go at any moment.
Yep.
And that's it. Or even a pandemic can, it might not even have anything to do with the business. A pandemic rolls around and your business, your industry gets destroyed. And now you've got to find another stream of income. And so people are diversifying.
I think a lot of people, like in our line of work, find these multiple streams of income. And it is very wise. And I mean, it's also because there can be lots of opportunity when you do your own thing. And you can be creative and you can be... I think it's very important to take time to reflect on what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what's possible, and dream about what's possible. And like having multiple streams of income, I think is very wise. I theoretically have multiple streams of income, but they all relate back to the content.
Right. You have to have something to ground it back to. For me, it's men's health, mental health, and the podcast, the public speaking,
the brand.
That's the brand. That's the core.
I love that. Yeah. I love that you have that public speaking aspect. I remember, I've looked at your content, and I know that you had a dream of going onto a TED Talk and you achieved that. That's amazing too. And now you're going to a conference in the Middle East. It all ties back to the content. Like the content is the product.
Yeah.
And then for me, it's like, it's very basic. Like I get paid for my views on YouTube, Facebook. They pay for views.
Do they?
Yeah, you should get on Facebook.
I will.
I mean, it doesn't pay too much, but
pay.
Some people get paid more because they get more views. And there's one more platform. Yes, Snapchat. Snapchat pays.
I've heard about Snapchat,
Yeah.
but I don't know how to integrate it for a podcast. I'm like, I was thinking about the last time I've used Snapchat,
what?
and I'm like, I don't even know where would I have even
hear ya.
seen something else.
I think your stuff would do really well
You
on
think?
Snapchat. Yes, because they have a monopoly, not monopoly. If you go to a Snapchat presentation, most of their audience is Gen Z
Okay.
and maybe Gen Alpha. I'm not sure. So it's the youngest crowd they have. It's like a ridiculous amount, and I think they would very much at least benefit from your content.
Sure.
And anyway, this might be a segue, but I'll just say this: like, I don't know how to use Snapchat, but all I do is I just re-upload my
Whatever you're producing.
Yeah. And you can do it as stories,
Okay.
and you get paid for the views there. It's all right, like I'm still learning how to navigate that platform, but these are like 3 streams of where you just do what you want to do, make content, and you get paid for the views.
Yeah.
And I do affiliate link for Amazon.
Yeah.
And
What are you not doing that you want to be doing?
man, such a good question. What am I not doing? I think like one of my goals this year has been to share more about my journey. So that's why I was really grateful to be invited to this podcast. And it's because my faith is so important to me, but it's something I haven't shared a lot about on my channel, and I want to share more about it, like in a respectful way, like just my personal journey, and not trying to tell anyone else what to do with their lives, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's a small goal of mine.
What's a big goal? What's an out there goal? Like, I'll give, we were talking before we started rolling about Chef Eric, who came on this podcast and talked about how he was opening up his restaurant, Akin. Is it Akin? That's how it's pronounced?
Akin.
Akin.
That's how I pronounce it.
Yeah, that's how I was just like, I hope I didn't mispronounce it. But he said to me, I'm going to get a Michelin star.
Wow.
And just literally last night, he got a Michelin star.
Oh, man.
And that was his
incredible.
Big goal,
Yeah.
What's yours?
Yeah, what's my big goal? I have like intermediate goals and bigger goals.
It's the big one. I want the big one.
I'll say this, like one of the things I want to put a lot of effort into is establishing long form YouTube, which I'm trying to figure out, and that is a good source of income that doesn't rely on paid partnerships, but it does rely on views, and it's a very competitive space. But like if I could imagine something, maybe it'd be like having an impact of some sort where I can feed like 1 million people, something like that. Like, because the goal, I still want the platform. Again, it's like a gift to me, like what I do. I love what I do. I love it so much. I never imagined I would be doing this. And so I don't want to waste the platform that I've been given as a gift, I feel. And so, yeah, if I can do as much good causes, like I know different people have different opinions on Mr. Beast, but he's a hero of mine. I think he just raised $40 million for clean water for people around the world. So something, I don't have to be the one like leading it or anything, but just like contributing to some of these causes.
Being a part of it.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I really like that one. And when you find yourself working in some fashion or capacity on that big goal of like feeding 1 million people, let me know, because I'd love to be a part of that.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
I'd love to support that in some way, because I, like you, agree there should be no reason why in 2025 there are people who still don't have food.
That is true. I think, yeah, I mean, in North America. I don't think in North America there should not be a problem, and there is also a problem, and there are problems in developing countries too that need help. Yeah,
I saw something like a stat that talked about how I think something like 65% of people in the United States consume more food than they need, while at the same time, and I don't remember this particular number, unfortunately, there's still a large percentage of children who don't have food in the United States, period.
Wow.
And you're like, why is there such a big drop off? How, like, what kind of society do we live in still where you have children that just don't have food? I can't understand it. I can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
But I'm just a podcaster.
Right. Me too. But I think it'd be good to do what we can to help. And, I need to be reminded of that too, because I think there's like a balance of enjoying what I do and also, what am I even trying to say? Like, do things that are fun and might not need to be tied to anything.
Yeah.
But also do things that are meaningful. And that gives me energy as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You need to fill your cup before you can fill anyone else's cup. It's the airplane analogy where if an oxygen mask drops, they tell you to put it on yourself before you put it on anyone else, because you're no good to anyone else if you can't function yourself.
Right.
I have one more question for you here. If you can go back in time and talk to a younger version of you, the one who just found out he was let go.
Younger, that's like 2 years ago.
Hey, listen, you've been on a hell of a journey in just 2 years.
Yeah.
But in those 2 years, because so much has happened, if you can go back, knowing everything you know today, if you can go back 2 years ago and talk to yourself on the day that you got let go, what advice would you give yourself? What would you say?
What would I say? I'd say, yo, things are good right now, but advice. I think, what's the advice I would give myself? It's a good question. I'm like just thinking about it. I think I would say like there's advice my mom gave me, which was there is such a beautiful journey that can be had when you're on this other side, where you can kind of like choose what you want to do with your time. And because my mom is a nurse, so she did a 9-to-5, and my dad went to real estate at one point in his life, and that was more of like an entrepreneurial business. And you have like these two different paths, and my mom was like, your dad had like a great adventure with his journey. I don't know if she meant to say that she wished she was on it too, but she had an incredible career herself. But that was the advice she gave me, was just to enjoy the journey and that there's great things that can happen on this other side. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming by.
Oh, thanks so much. It felt like just a conversation, which I think this is meant to be, right?
That's right.
So I enjoyed it a lot, and it went by really quickly.
It flies when you're having a good conversation with a good human.
Yeah.
And I'm very fortunate, I was saying before, right off the top, I'm very fortunate in that I get to sit here and listen to these incredible stories, and I get to leave inspired and excited and ready to go do my thing again and re-energized. So I appreciate you sharing your time with me, your story. I think what you're doing is incredible. I can't wait for people to see this side of you.
Thank you.
I think people should see this side of you more, because I think there's room for it.
Thank you.
And I think it's important for that to come through, because you're just a naturally good person. Like when I asked you what your big goal is, your big goal wasn't, I'm going to make X amount of dollars. It's, I'm going to help X number of people. And I think that's very commendable. So thank you for doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Samir. And I look to you for inspiration as well.
That's very kind of you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, everybody.